Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for those rock tunes with a particularly infamous or scandalous reputation. Number 10. Lola The Kings.
Well, we drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight.
The fact that discussions are still being had with regards to the lyrical content of Lola by The Kings speaks to the lasting influence and controversy behind this song. We're speaking beyond the obvious product placement of Coca-Cola that initially had Lola banned by the BBC.
I met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes like Coca-Cola. C-O-L-A Cola.
Specifically, many modern appraisals of this Kings classic are unsure as to its status within LGBTQIA+ history. Is the song a forward-thinking example of gender inclusivity and representation? Or does it feature too much in the way of archaic lyricism to be valid in the modern day? The answer isn't cut and dry. Ultimately, up to us to decide for ourselves. Number 9. We Don't Need This Fascist Groove Thang, Heaven 17.
Have you heard it on the news about this fascist groove thing?
This British synth-pop act dared to get political right out of their creative gate with this debut single from 1981. We Don't Need This Fascist Groove Thang took square aim at the newly elected US President Ronald Reagan, while also criticising what Heaven 17 felt were growing racist and xenophobic attitudes connected to said election.
And Reagan's president-elect, fascist God in motion.
Of course, not everybody appreciates political commentary within their pop music, and We Don't Need This Fascist Groove Thang wasn't received the same way by every listener. It was also, perhaps predictably, banned by the BBC due to its lyrical content.
Brothers, sisters, we don't need a fascist groove thing.
Number 8. Glad to Be Gay, Tom Robinson Band.
The British police are the best in the world. I don't believe one of these stories I've heard.
Here's a question. Do modern events concerning the personal lives of artists change our perceptions of the songs they've written? Glad to Be Gay by the Tom Robinson Band was controversial back in 1978, primarily due to its themes of LGBTQIA+ empowerment.
Searching their houses, calling them queer. I don't believe that sort of thing happens here.
The song was banned by the BBC at the time of release, but eventually became known as an early anthem for British gay rights. Fast forward to the late 90s, however, and Tom Robinson was now married to a woman with whom he fathered 2 children. The singer added a verse to Glad to Be Gay, refusing to label his sexuality as anything other than his own.
Sing if you're glad to be gay. Sing if you're happy that way.
Number 7. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, The Beatles.
Picture yourself in a boat on a river.
It may be true that some of us, as music fans, would occasionally prefer to believe the legend rather than the actual truth. How else can we explain the continued confusion over the lyrical content of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles? This isn't to say for a moment that recreational substance use didn't at least partially factor into the creative process of the Beatles.
Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes and she's gone.
That said, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is actually not about tuning in and dropping out, but rather a reference to a drawing by John Lennon's son, Julian.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
This didn't stop media and fans pontificating about the song's alleged psychedelic intentions, of course, regardless of the comparatively innocuous truth. Number 6. Relax, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna go.
It's interesting to look back now upon the sexually charged video clip for Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Its frank and explicit, for the time, aesthetic helped fuel the initial controversy that surrounded Relax, an ire that briefly had the song banned by the BBC. Nothing could stop Frankie from taking over the world, however, and Relax soon became something of an early 80s anthem. The tune's bombastic chorus, that pulsing synth, and that slight, skulking menace was unlike anything else being played on the radio at the time. How then could we possibly be expected to relax? Number 5. My Generation, The Who.
People try to put us down my generation just because we talking about my generation.
The world is in a constant state of flux with regards to our collective status quo, what's considered to be offensive and what's socially acceptable by current standards. It's a bit strange then to know this and wonder about how My Generation by The Who could, at least initially, be considered offensive towards those living with a speech impediment. If anything, this initial BBC ban fed into the larger message of My Generation, namely that of a growing disconnect between young people, their parents, and the expectations thrust upon them by an out-of-touch old guard.
Generation.
Number 4. Fairytale of New York, The Pogues.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank.
It's a song that's considered by many to be a holiday classic, but Fairytale in New York is not without its fair share of controversy. This duet between Shane MacGowan and singer-songwriter Kirsty MacColl was recorded by MacGowan's band, The Pogues, detailing the downward spiral of a relationship in turmoil. The lyrics are blackly comedic, but also contain slurs that date the piece to its 1987 timestamp.
You're a bum, you're a punk.
You're an old slut and jump line there, almost dead on a trip in that bed.
Many radio airings of Fairytale of New York edited out the rampant vulgarity present within the song then and today. This leaves Fairytale of New York with a complicated legacy that leaves plenty of room for discourse in the modern day.
And the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
Number 3. I Want to Break Free, Queen.
I want to break free.
The levels of ire raised against I Want to Break Free by Queen was one primarily associated with certain areas of the United States. Radio and television outlets within that nation's southern and midwestern states resisted showcasing the song, which featured a video where Freddie Mercury and Queen were dressed in drag.
I have to be sure when I walk out the door. Oh, I want to be free, lady.
Granted, the connections to Coronation Street were probably not immediately evident to foreign listeners, but it wasn't the soap opera connections present within I Want to Break Free that was the problem for its critics. It was the implied promotion of LGBTQIA+ pride.
I want to break free.
Number 2. Spasticus Autisticus, Ian Dury.
I'm Spasticus Autisticus. I'm Spasticus. I'm Spasticus.
Not everybody saw 1981's International Year of Disabled Persons Declaration by the United Nations as something positive. Definitely not singer-songwriter Ian Dury, who co-wrote and released Spasticus Autisticus in 1981 as a protest to this decree. Dury's personal battle with polio led to his own disability, and it was this relationship that directly influenced the song's title and lyrics.
I'm nobbled on the cobbles cause I hobble when I wobble. Swim!
The choice to specifically reference the slur within the first word of this title was juxtaposed against a mantra of strength that referenced the film Spartacus. The song was banned by the BBC, with voices from both sides expressing either distaste or support for Dury's musical vision.
I'm Spasticus Autisticus. I'm Spasticus. I'm Spasticus.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 1. God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols.
God save the Queen. The fascist regime.
Nobody could stop punk rock in the late 70s, not even the BBC. The Sex Pistols were already set squarely within media crosshairs after a tumultuously controversial appearance on The Today Show. This resulted in their debut single, Anarchy in the UK, receiving the same ban treatment that afflicted its follow-up, God Save the Queen. Both tunes were two-fingered salutes to the established order, with the latter raising particular ire thanks to its proximity to the national anthem. The bad publicity did little to stem the flow of record sales for the Pistols, however, and their legacy as punk pioneers was soon irrevocably assured. Should the act of being offended by something simply be resolved by banning the offending item, or should we instead promote discourse and personal responsibility over the censorship of art and music? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.